What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. So here we are again, another disappointing loss this week coming to our division rivals, the Denver Broncos. And what to say on this game? A lot of mistakes throughout on both sides of the football, and ultimately they got ahead early on and we couldn't get back with them, and then that very crucial turnover, the pick six, which pretty much sealed the deal for the Broncos in the fourth quarter. Obviously we got the news before the game that Filer wasn't going to be playing due to injury, so offensive line wise we knew we were going to be struggling, and in come Kelemete to take over the position. And let's be brutally honest about it, he had an absolutely shocking game. I think there was a drive where he had 2 penalties and allowed a sack all in one drive. Wasn't pretty from him. Obviously we already had issues with injuries on the offensive line. Ibushi obviously down for looking like the season with the torn ACL. Brian Balaga just seems to be injury after injury. Who knows when he might be coming back. So we'll have to see what happens with Filer going forward. But we're definitely seeing now, obviously we put in players such as Corey Linsley. Rayshawn Slater's doing a top job, the rookie. But it shows that just 1 or 2 players in that offensive line can make such a huge difference. It'll be interesting to see if Brandon Staley, after that performance from Kelemete, might even stick the rookie Brendan James in there just to mix things up, see how he might get on going forward. But away from that, Herbert had some missed throws. I mean, the first interception wasn't great down the red zone. There was lots of penalties. Obviously the pick six, I put that more on Eckler than Herbert. Obviously tipped the ball up right into Surtain's hands, and an easy run back for the 6 there for the Broncos. And to put the icing on the cake, doesn't look like we've solved the kicker issues either. Hopkins, no good from 50 yards plus. Meanwhile, Michael Badgley is at the Indianapolis Colts, literally smashing in every single field goal he gets this year, which is just typical from a Chargers perspective. But there you go. Despite more yards and more time of possession, we couldn't get close to the Broncos in this game. Now, defensively, we know we're having our struggles against the run. Derwin James is smashing it this year though. He's having an excellent year. I know as a whole, I think we expected more from Brandon Staley coming in with this defense, but I want to shout out Derwin James. He got the sack, he got that amazing interception, and had that fumble, which is ultimately overturned as well. If he can pull up the level of some of the other defensive players out there, I think we could be in for a good end of the season defensively, and then we just need to get the offense sorted. As I said in previous weeks, I think we need to come away a bit from Austin Eckler on the ground, get other backs involved. We'll see a bit of Josh Kelly in this game, Roundtree with the odd carry, but we need to get an established number 2 back to almost split the carries with Eckler and get him out there more in the passing game, as we know what he can do scoring touchdowns as a receiver. I've got to mention that touchdown pass from Jared Cook. Don't know whether Herbert should have thrown it, to be honest. He just seemed to throw it up. But Jared Cook, with all those defenders around him, coming down with it and getting both feet inbounds. So that was a pretty incredible touchdown. And at that point, we thought we had some hope in the game, but it was short-lived. So what next for the team? So we sit second in the West. The Chiefs now back on track, a game ahead of us, and we have a vital matchup against them coming up very soon. But we had an opportunity to put a bit of distance between us and the other wildcard teams this week. We didn't take it, and now we're in a real dogfight to get a wildcard spot if we can't get the win in the West, and a lot of that's going to come down to us against the Chiefs. At the moment, it doesn't look like we'll be able to go out and beat the Chiefs again, but who knows with this team. We're so inconsistent, we could just pull off an amazing win against the Chiefs and drag ourselves back into contention for the division. Meanwhile, in terms of the wild card, as I say, it's getting very congested. We give Broncos that win now, leaving them and the Raiders on the same record as us. Obviously, we've got the head-to-heads over the Steelers and the Browns, and we really need now to beat the Bengals, a team that are going to be a big rival for the wildcard spots for us. So on to the Bengals, and a very quick look at the matchup. I can see there being a hell of a lot of offense in this game, and I think it's more going to come down to a similar style game to the Steelers and the Browns games, and maybe just a coincidence that it's another AFC North opponent. Maybe we will just have a shootout like we have done with the other teams in that division. But expect a lot of Joe Mixon, and I think he will tear apart our run defense, as we've seen a lot of good backs do this year. But I expect Justin Herbert to get out there and hopefully get some deep passes, get Mike Williams more involved in the game. As I say, shootout for me this game, and it's the one kind of game we've been coming out on top of so far this season. It's a crucial game. If we can get ourselves to 7-5 and give the Bengals a defeat, we're going to be in a much better situation for the wild card. going into the NFC matchup against the Giants the following week. Guys, let me know in the comments below what are your thoughts on the next couple of games. I want to hear your predictions for the Bengals game. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already and hit that like button. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.